I mean, we are going to have a great time today. And for those of you that have been with us for Wake Up Happy, you know what I'm talking about. This is a glorious day, isn't it? It doesn't matter where you're from. You are now engaged and a part of our third series called Wake Up Happy. My name is Kym Yancey. I am the co-founder and CEO of Live Happy. We are an international organization that's focused on making our planet a happier place. That sounds pretty audacious, and I love what we see happening because, you being part of this session that we're having here and the things that we're doing all over the country, we're going to get there. We're going to raise and elevate the happiness on our planet. It is definitely going to happen. For our returning guest, I want to say welcome back to Wake Up Happy. It feels like, doesn't it kind of feel like a reunion for us? We started this in September. We did November. We did October. Now we're here in, November the 3rd. We have a fantastic group of experts that are going to be joining us all week. I'm so excited about Debbie, who I'll tell you about, who's our special guest this morning. But, so those of you that have been with us, you really can have a good idea as to what to expect. We, and our new people, our new guests, I wanted to tell you, welcome to Wake Up Happy. I am so honored to have you here with us. Live Happy, our organization, is all about the science and the academic proof around happiness. I mean, we work with some of the world premier experts in positive psychology around the world to give you content, to give you information, to give you insights, to give you strategies to allow you to live a happy, fulfilled, joyful life. And, here's the thing that we've learned through this is happiness truly is the precursor to success. It's not about the prize at the end of the rainbow. So many people, think that when I get this house, when I get this job or this career, when I have the right mate and the right partner, and when I have this and when I have that, I'll be happy. And science has proven it's exactly the wrong way to look at it. It is truly, happiness is the precursor, and happiness and positive emotions help you thrive in all the things you want to do. They help you get in touch with your true potential. The Greeks have a definition of happiness that I really like, and I learned this from reading Sean Akers' book, who's written the book The Happiness Advantage, and a dear friend of Live Happy and the Wake Up Happy series. And but in his book, he talks about the Greek definition, which is the joy you feel striving toward your potential or growing toward your potential. The joy, being happy isn't about the absence of stress. It's when you're striving towards your potential, you're going to go through some stress. You're going to go through some things that, are going to feel a little uncomfortable for you. In fact, I share this when I speak to audiences around the country, and I'll say to them, how many people want to be happier? And, all the hands go up. I mean, how many people have the ability and the capacity to accept more happiness into their life? And everyone's hands go up. And then I ask them, who's afraid of happiness? And I know I was in Sacramento, California, and in this last speaking engagement, a woman raised her hand and she was afraid of it. And I looked at her and I said to everyone in the room, that's the bravest woman in the room. Because the reality is, with all of us saying that we want more happiness in our life, being happy is not something that my good friend James Pawlowski from the University of Penn, who is the director of their positive psychology department, said to me one night. He says, Kym, happiness is not for sissies. Happiness takes work, just like any skill, anything that you want to develop. And there's a practice and a way to engage yourself with happiness that really can make a massive difference in your performance and in everything that you do. But to be happy, and when you look at your life and you say, I'm not as happy as I'd like to be, or something could be missing, it requires you to hold up the mirror and take a look. So we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to cover a lot of great things. Our goal here is for you to leave these sessions that we have. This is going to be 30 minutes, and take this information and take the things you learn, and not only to help them in your own life, but to share. Happiness is all about sharing with others. Now, I want you to get social with us. We'd love to hear from you. Our hashtag is Wake Up Happy. You can get us Twitter at MyLiveHappy, and Facebook is our Facebook is MyLiveHappy. Also, the source of everything when it comes to us is at livehappy.com. So just, if you forget everything, just think of Live livehappy.com. There you'll find just incredible content and information that our whole team, I got to tell you, I'm most proud of the Live Happy team and the dedication of our writers and our team and our staff. What they bring to this is far beyond just, getting up and going to, some career. This is truly a lifestyle and something that we all really love dearly. And the other thing I want to share with you, those of you that are on a computer and you might be watching us on your computer screen, you're going to see I'm throwing up some pictures here of us doing what we call banana smiles. And it's a real fun thing that we started where, the curve of the banana makes a great smile. And we just for fun started doing these smiles where we started including bananas. And it's really catching on. I guess you could say we're kind of going bananas with just the mere fact that you hold up a banana and take a picture of yourself, it creates happiness right there on the spot. I mean, it just has this effect of elevating your thoughts and bringing mindfulness and playfulness to your life. So, listen, you want to have some fun? I'd love for you to take a picture of yourself with a banana, what I call a banana smile, and then email that to me at wakeuphappy@livehappy.com. Take a picture. That's going to come directly to me, wakeuphappy@livehappy.com. Also, I want you to know, if you're first time listening, mark this date down because March 20th of 2015 is the International Day of Happiness. And we were the largest worldwide supporter and sponsor of this past March. With the UN, it's the United Nations has established this, declared this as a day of international celebration around happiness. And our organization we were at the Today Show. We had these orange walls set up all over the country where people could walk up to these orange walls and share and post how they're sharing happiness. It was just fantastic. So I just want to share with you that put that on your calendar because you're going to want to participate with us with what we're doing there and the things that we've got happening from that standpoint. Okay? All right. With that, let's meet our very, very special guest. She is a real dynamo. Her name is Debbie Jasoni, and Jasoni, that's it, Debbie Jasoni. She is a best-selling author, healthy lifestyle advisor, and corporate leader. At the height of her corporate career, Debbie's personal life was shattered when 4 family members died in 4 years, one from suicide. After these life-altering events, she traded high-tech for health and wellness and embarked on a mission to help others make simple changes that radically enhance their self-awareness, well-being, and success. For 15 years, she has advised business executives and individuals alike in adopting healthy lifestyle and work habits, including meditation. Now, Debbie was recently inducted into the Happiness Hall of Fame at Stanford. She is also the author of The Goddess of Happiness, a down-to-earth guide for heavenly balance and bliss, and Vita's Will, real-life lessons about life, death, and moving on, and note to self, love. She is a certified hypnotherapist and certified health and lifestyle coach. Debbie, it's so great to have you a part of Wake Up Happy.
Thank you. Happy Monday. I'm so glad I'm on Monday just to get the week going, huh?
Hey, there was no other way we could do this show without getting you here on Monday, Debbie, so it was designed for you.
You already got me smiling and wanting a banana. So that's great.
Hey, that's great, Debbie. Hey, listen, I'd like to jump right into is how did you become to be known as the Goddess of Happiness, and what inspired you to write it?
Right. Well, I will say this. It definitely was not planned. I was always one of these people that felt I was in so much control of my career and all that. I went to college. I got the business degree. I was, climbing the corporate ranks. Everything was going great. And then what happens? Life happens. Life happens completely out of your control. And, we all go through these things in life. We all have challenges. And as you had said in my intro, I went through a lot of tragedy in my life with 4 deaths in 4 years. And this happened when I was pretty young, late 20s, early 30s. And I think it's when you feel totally defeated that you start looking at life a different way and realizing that you have some choices that you can make. You can wallow in self-pity, or you can try to look at what happens that may be out of your control or maybe not so great looking at on the outside, and say, what can you do to make this better in your life and others? And I chose the choice of, leaving my corporate career at that time and I wrote my first book, Vita's Will, about these tragedies and how I overcame them. And then in that process of writing, which is very cathartic, I would definitely recommend it for people that are going through hard times. Just write out your feelings. I got a little lighter. I got a little less controlling. I got a little lighter, and then I started writing about happiness and started doing some columns in newspapers about happiness. And that's how the book, The Goddess of Happiness, came about, and then it sort of got branded onto me. But, you know, out of the darkness comes light. You can always find light out of the darkness, and that's really how this whole happiness thing came about for me.
Debbie, I want you to talk more. I mean, and I also want to say, Debbie, this is a pretty powerful tweetable moment. I'm going to have you help me finish this. But you said when you feel totally defeated is when you, what? How did you say that? When you feel totally defeated?
Is when you when you re-examine life and what's important in it.
Yeah, and you know, when you're going through this incredibly dark time, dark moments, you know, what were the things, you know, that obviously the pain, you know, had to bring you to your knees, you know, and you know, what are the things that you deployed, that you tapped into, that started to make a difference for you?
Yeah, well, I realized I had a lot of innate coping mechanisms, and that's what I write about in the books, and there's tons of, you know, ways that you can do that. But the one thing that I always come back to is humor and having a sense of humor. I mean, I truly, truly believe that saying that you see sometimes on bumper stickers and all that says, you know, in order to become enlightened, you have to lighten up. And I do believe laughter can be found in failure, in challenges, and even in death. And not only can it be found, it's almost necessary for survival. It's like survival humor, right? You have to get through these hard times, and you have to allow yourself the ability to find humor. No matter how terrible this big picture looks in your life, you can always find little isolated moments that were funny. My mother was an extremely funny woman. She had this very interesting accent from Italy, and we kind of grew up in this, what I would consider, it was almost like a sitcom family. You know, it was very, very funny, even though no one was trying to be funny. Like, she used to say she quit smoking cold duck because she just didn't, you know, she didn't really know the English language that well. And I remember she went to the doctor once, and she said, oh, you know, I'm not seeing that well. I think I have Cadillacs, you know. So this was kind of like her mode, and this was what we grew up in. So when she was sick for 10 years, she was on, you know, during that 10 years, she had a brain tumor, and she was on a respirator a lot, and they had her hooked up to like a breathing tube. And when you're on that, you can't speak, which was horrible for my mother. She was quite spirited and loved to talk all the time. So I remember the nurses, they gave her this alphabet board. Now, they didn't know that she, you know, had like 1 year of English schooling, and we didn't really know Italian. So she would have to use the alphabet board to communicate with us, and she'd have to like point out the letters to spell literally words and sentences for us. Now, you could imagine, given her background and, you know, her frustration being on the ventilator and all that, what came out of that. It was like we were playing Password and Wheel of Fortune all wrapped up into one, and we laughed hysterical at this sequence of events, even though the big picture was terrible. We didn't know if she'd ever get off a respirator. We didn't know if she'd ever walk again. We never knew if she'd ever even breathe again or eat again. But yet, we could find these little isolated moments to laugh together as a family, and that's really what got us through a lot of those bad times.
Yeah, you know, laughter can be found in failure and challenges. Powerful. That's a great tweetable moment. Laughter can be found in failure and in challenges. You know, Debbie, let's talk a little bit about self-love. If there's one thing that I see is, you know, I don't want to say it's an epidemic, but, you know, feeling a lack of appreciation from people, you know, and people feeling, you know, the sadness that hits so many of us. I mean, it's a fact when you look at all the prescriptions for antidepressants, that kind of thing. Talk to us about self-love and, you know, the research and what you've discovered and what you can share with us about that topic.
Right. Well, this is something that was really important for me because, as you mentioned, I had a sister who committed suicide. And when you have someone like that and you're, you know, survival guilt and all that, you kind of go through this period where, you know, how could somebody get to that point where they really want to just check out of life? And it really comes down to how much you appreciate yourself and self-love, or how much you hate yourself, or how you're living your life. And I believe that self-love is probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest lesson we're all here to learn. And many of us struggle with this daily. And even if you get to a place of self-love, the next day you could just be knocked down by something someone tells you or whatever. And I think what self-love does is it helps you go from a fear-based reality where your happiness is dependent upon external circumstances to a love-based reality where you can always find happiness within, no matter what circumstances you're in or no matter what anybody says to you. And what I mean by a fear-based reality is what most of us live in every day, whether things are going well or not. If things are going well, you're afraid you're going to fall off, right? You're afraid something bad's going to happen, or you're not going to have everything you have now that you love. If things are not going well, you're fearing that you're going to go down even a more slippery slope, or things are going to get worse. So going from that to a love-based reality where you can really get to a place of inner awareness, find that shining light that's inside of you and light that up, and know that that shining light inside of you and me and every one of us is just pure love. It's that simple. And that we're all deserving of love and we're all needing of love. And any practice, I think, that helps quiet the mind can help you kind of get to that place of inner awareness. But when I do talks or workshops, I say to people, look, just look in the mirror, find something from yourself to love. It could be your earlobe. Maybe you have to start that small, for women, for women, maybe we'll get to our thighs, someday, that's the big thing. Or even a personality trait that you love about yourself. Maybe it's your sense of humor, your compassion for animals, whatever it is, focus on that. And every time you feel not good about yourself, go back to that place where you do feel good about yourself, that one thing, and then kind of build that list over time. And as you light more of these areas in your being up, you eventually realize and start seeing that you are a being of pure light and love, and that nothing can invade that space. You are the eye of the hurricane. Nothing that can invade that space no matter what's going on around you. And you can live a love-based reality. And when you get to that spot, you can really be in a mode of self-love and get yourself back to that place when things are challenging in your life.
Debbie, walk me through a little bit. I want to just visit a conversation. When you're talking to someone that is coming from a fear-based reality, what might that conversation, what kind of words, what kind of statements would they be making so that as you're talking to them, you're like, okay, he or she is really coming from a fear-based reality. What does that sound like?
Right. Well, I think that most people don't know what they're afraid of, or they don't want to admit it. So I think, first of all, asking the right questions about how they're feeling and what are they really fearing. And you'll be surprised. A lot of people don't know what that is. Maybe it is fear of failure. Maybe it is fear of a divorce that is impending. Maybe it is fear of losing their house. You have to get to what the fear is and then sort of break it down from there and say, okay, what's the worst thing that could happen if this should happen? And then go through a series of questions from that angle. And just what I keep doing is I keep asking, okay, and what's the worst thing that could happen if that happens? And what's the worst thing? And then people, when they start breaking it down granularly like that, they find out that it's not really as bad as they think. And just talking about the fear actually helps expose it. It helps release it. It releases the burden. And it gets them to a place where they can actually start, okay, I have this fear. How can I turn it around into a love? And I think one of the ways to turn it around, and a good thing to do, is to get to a place of gratitude. Gratitude is so important. And I could just give you a little simple example of this. I just recently had some hand surgery, and so my hand is in a cast. My one hand is in a cast. And the first few days, and it's still in a cast today, the first few days, I was just like, God, why did I have to go through this? I mean, it was just something that had to be fixed on a joint, and I was just feeling so bad about it. I'm like, God, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't, I just was thinking about all the things I couldn't do. And then a friend of mine, sends me an email that says, gosh, I'm really thinking about you. I know how terrible. A friend of mine just fell down and broke both her wrists and has both wrists in a cast. And I said, oh, my gosh, thank you so much for that email. That makes me feel so much better. Now, because all of a sudden I was so grateful for just having one wrist in a cast. And I hate to say this, but there's always someone that's having a worse time than you. And when you get into that like victim mode and saying, oh, everything's terrible, why me, think about all the other people on the planet that are suffering, that have like, maybe they don't even have fresh water that day or fresh air. And think of all the things that we have that we can be grateful for every day. And that really gets you to a place of loving your life more, loving yourself more. Gratitude that's the key. I mean, that is the key to get to a love-based reality.
What are some of the things, Debbie, that you kind of practice? Just let's take us through kind of a Debbie day in a way, in terms of, well, you're hit with it. You're hit with the traffic. You're hit with different things. But, the things that you do to consciously bring mindfulness and elevate your own personal happiness. What are some of the things that you do and the things you prescribe to others?
Right. Well, I will say this. I was thinking about your show, Wake Up Happy, and I was thinking, you know what? I do wake up happy every day. First of all, I go to bed every night, and before I fall asleep, I go through my list of gratitude in my mind. Some people do this in a journal. I just do it in my mind because it actually helps me fall asleep. So I go to sleep, and even if I've had the worst day, I could say, I had this beautiful sunshine, I had legs to walk, my dogs, I always go through food because I'm a big foodie. I go through my breakfast, lunch, and dinner and whatever I ate that day, and I feel really grateful for all that food that I ate and how nourishing it was and how delicious it was every single night. So I go through my list. Then I wake up in the morning.
I mean, first of all, that's huge. Let me just say, just that. I mean, listen, the whole notion of going to bed and filling your mind with gratitude, the whole notion before I lay my head to sleep or head my down to sleep, focus on gratitude instead of,
instead of what went wrong that day and how tired you are and all that.
Exactly. So I love that. So all right, continue.
And then I wake up. And I have a little ritual when I wake up. And I don't know, I have never planned to do this or anything, but I wake up and I have like kind of a morning ritual where, I get the shades up, get some light in the house, and I have 2 huskies, so there's a lot of hair on my floor all the time. And I just very slowly do my dust mopping, get the hair off the floor for the day, right?
Right.
And usually my husband's out walking the dogs at that time because he's getting ready for work. And I sing a song. And for a long time, I used to sing Fifth Dimension, Age of Aquarius, Let the Sunshine In, because as I'm lifting my shades, I'm singing Let the Sunshine In, love will steer the stars, all that stuff. Peace will guide the planets and whatever. But recently I was in...
Debbie, I won't be able to get it out of my mind now forever.
I know, but I'm going to give you another one that's even going to be better. So I was in New York City, where I'm from originally. I was visiting family earlier this year, and I saw the Carole King play called Beautiful. And Carole King is a singer-songwriter from the, 50s, 60s, 70s.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very popular. And I didn't know of the song that she sung, but they start out the play singing this song called Beautiful. And the lyrics of the song helps me wake up happy every day. And as I'm lifting my shades, I actually sing the song, and I sing it out loud, and I sing it to my dogs, and I sing it to my husband. And I won't sing it on the air. I'll give you the lyrics, but I won't sing it because we'll probably lose half our audience if I try to sing. I'm a great speaker, but singing was not my forte. But she starts off, she says, you've got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. Then people are going to treat you better. You're going to find out, yes, you will, that you're beautiful as you feel. And I just sing that over and over again in the morning, and I just love it. It just makes me start the day so great and so happy and so fun.
Oh, my gosh, you're just really programming yourself for happiness, right?
It should be your theme song for the show.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love that.
That's the title of it, Beautiful, Carole King. So the listeners can go out and, download that, I don't know, iTunes or whatever, but it's just, and she sings it beautifully, and it's just a really upbeat, beat and whatever, and it just gets you smiling and it gets you going. And between that and Let the Sunshine In, like, I'm ready to start my day.
Yeah, and let me ask you a question. As you look at the things that, the clients you have and the things you counsel them on, do you find, as you're both a certified health coach and a hypnotherapist, are there, one or two kind of specific themes that you see running through your practice or you see with people that you can tell us about?
Well, I do a lot of group workshops instead of individual now, but what I see is that people are, well, as we talked about, they don't know what their fear is. They know they're in fear, but they don't know what their fear is, so identifying that is really important. And I also see that, as you said earlier in the broadcast, Kym, when you were doing an introduction there, about happiness is not something that is, it's not the end-all to success. You know, success comes from being happy first, and I think people have that mixed up. And the other theme I find is when I ask the question when I'm doing a talk, just as you do, you know, who wants to be happy, everybody happier, everybody raises their hand. And the theme that I see is that people are as happy as they want to be, as their mind tells them to be, and that it's probably the single most thing people want most out of life is to be happy and to be acknowledged that they're worth something. And really, the only person that could really make you feel the most acknowledged is yourself, because if you can't get to that place of self-love, there's nothing anybody else is going to do or say that's going to help you there. It really is an inner job. It's an inside job, right? Just like happiness.
And you know, and to that point is, you know, what we've learned through all of this and with science is the fact that if you are having a horrible time trying to figure that out, give and serve others. Volunteer, engage in some activities where you can help people who can never pay you back. Just your calling, your purpose, your meaning will start to blossom just by giving and looking out for other people. Hey, listen, Debbie, I want you to give, we're going to end up with you giving them what I call the call of action for the day, what you want, you know, everyone across the country to walk away with and take with them if they just take a couple things. Before we do that, I just want to make sure that you guys are aware that this is what we do at Live Happy Magazine, and we are a magazine. We're on major newsstands, Barnes & Noble. You see us in the airports, Whole Foods. We just celebrated our 1-year anniversary. We've also gone digital, so now you can actually get, no matter where you are in the world, you can plug into Live Happy Magazine, and I will tell you, it is transformative. There's no other way to describe this. There's nothing out like this based on happiness and the science, and a lifestyle publication with, you know, stories on literally everything you can imagine, from aging to parenting to career to life to relationships, finances. It's all there. The other thing I want to tell you is that if you decide that you want to, you know, I'm really going to ask you to be a part of our movement. I mean, this is our calling, and I want to invite you to be a part of the Live Happy movement. So just go to livehappy.com, and our editorial team has put together 3 incredible happiness reports for you. So just know that when you subscribe to Live Happy and you get our physical publication, you also get our digital publication. And if you only want digital, that's fine. You can just order the digital side. So just go to Live Happy, hit the subscribe button. I've got a couple things, Debbie, I want to share with them that's, I know you're going to love this, but we've just recently launched what's called Live Happy Notes. And these are, for those of you that are on your computers, you'll be able to see this. If you're just listening, what I want you to picture in your mind is a Post-it note with custom handwritten words. And there are 10 custom statements on these notes. So let me give you an example. Like, you are unique, embrace it, is one. Another one is, you make a difference, you matter, thank you. Another one is, the beauty inside you makes me happy. Or here's another one. Thank you for being you. You're awesome. One of my favorites is, you are loved and appreciated. And so several more, but let me tell you how we use these. This is called, for me, I kind of refer to it as happy graffiti. And so I've got this package of happy notes. And no matter where I go, restaurant, the other day, Debbie, I had breakfast and I left the woman a $5 tip. I had 5 singles, and normally I just write it on my credit card receipt, but this time I gave her the singles and I put a note on there, and I said to her, you are loved and appreciated. And I left that note there.
I love that. Yeah.
I got to tell you, Debbie, I went to the register and I looked back. She went to pick up that money and held that in her hands and just stared at it. I mean, she was stopped right there. I put it at gas stations. It made her day. So what I want to say to you, this is probably one of the hottest ways that we can spread happiness and do it easily, and put it in your purse, and guys, put it in your pants, you know, just put it in your pocket, And no matter where you go, men's room, put it up on the mirror, put a little note. So we have those. And the other thing we're really excited about, and I just want to tell you about this, especially with the holidays here, is we just came out with this Live Happy 50 Happiness Facts and Quotes, which is our editorial team put together these incredible facts around happiness in a beautiful book. I mean, just beautiful. And it's fabulous. And you can find that there at livehappy.com. You can see our store. And I'm just sharing this with you because I'm excited about it, but I want you to know these are, with all the stuff going on in the holidays, what could be better than saying to someone, I want to, I couldn't think of anything else better to do than to give you the gift of happiness. And that's what you're giving them, So you've got this book, you've got the magazine. We have lots of people doing this where they buy subscriptions for their friends for the holidays. It's just incredible. And then we've come out with our Live Happy apparel, and you can find that there too, the shirts and the different things. We've got some cute shirts for kids, but you'll love, our Live Happy apparel. And what I want you to know is, just so everyone knows this, I'm going to give you a special code so that if you decide that you want to get anything from our store, purchase $50 or more from the Live Happy store and receive free shipping when you enter this discount code. So here it is. It's pretty easy. It's called Wake Up 3. All right, so you enter that discount code, Wake Up 3, and you get free shipping. Okay, so I want you to know that. I've got a tremendous, I just love this quote from Debbie, and I want to read this before she gives you her steps for the day. But it's a great quote, Debbie. Here it is. Laughter gives you as much emotional release as crying. Personally, I'd rather laugh. Great. Laughter gives you as much emotional release as crying. Personally, I'd rather laugh. Great, great quote, Debbie. So with that, I want you to know that tomorrow we've got Louisa Jewel, and we'll be talking about flourishing with confidence with Louisa, and that will be tomorrow at 9:30. So Debbie, with that, what are our steps for the day? What would you like to see us all do?
Well, first of all, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get on the site and put in the Wake Up 3 code and buy some stuff because I'm sure I'm going to love that stuff, and I'm going to be giving it out for gifts for Christmas. So thanks for that tip. I think everybody should write themselves a little love note this morning. One sentence, just take your time, but it doesn't have to take a lot of time, and just say, I love this about myself, and find out what it is, and keep that thought with you all day long, and no matter what happens.
I love that. I love this about myself. You guys, you have got to tweet about this. Go to our Facebook page. I'd love to know it. You can also, if you want to communicate with me directly, wakeuphappy@livehappy.com. Debbie, thank you so much for the gift of your time and contribution to this. I'm telling you. Well, listen, you've definitely provided some ideas and some insights that will help thousands and thousands of people. We really appreciate it. So with that, have a great day. We'll see you back tomorrow at 9:30 Central Time, 10:30 Eastern. Out there in the Pacific, it's 7:30 for you. Don't miss it. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.